In this video, we're going to break down the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist within a large organization. Now, a couple weeks ago, I posted a video on my thoughts on the difference between the two roles. Now, I've realized that my perspective is somewhat limited. Number one, I'm an entrepreneur and agency owner, so I kind of look at analytics from a sales perspective. And number two, my target demographic is the medium and small market. So in this video, we're going to be talking with Fabio Alamini from Volvo Finance, and he's going to give us a perspective of the differences within a large organization. So stay tuned. Hey guys, it's John David here with How to Get an Analytics Job. In this video, we're going to be talking with Fabio Alamini. It's actually a podcast highlight, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of context of why I'm making this video. But before we get into that, I need to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, HQ Greensboro. I've been working out of this co-working space in downtown Greensboro for about 3 years, and it's been a wonderful chance for me not only to meet new prospective clients, but also make a few business partners as well. If you're ever in downtown Greensboro, I would highly suggest that you at least take a tour because it's a wonderful space. Fabio is the analytics manager at Volvo Finance. In fact, he reached out to me recently because he was looking to fill an entry-level analyst role. And we got to talking, and he decided that he actually wanted to come on the podcast and give his thoughts on the analytics space. And you can check out the full interview if you check out our podcast on Buzzsprout. And we also have a podcast playlist on our YouTube channel as well. So let's get into it. What's the difference in your eyes between a data analyst and a data scientist or a business analyst?
I would say that a business analyst is more embracing to the business. So they are more the liaison between the data scientist and someone that is making a decision in the business, a business leader, for example. So that individual, it needs to be more hybrid approach. Yes, it needs to have a lot of technical skills to be able to go and leverage the data, but at the same time, we need to develop a lot of soft skills to take the data to influence the business, to impact the business, to translate that eventually to a leader in the organization that you not necessarily understand all the scripts and the coding that is behind the analysis, but really translate that into a story that the leaders will be able to execute on that story. So to me, that's a little difference between them.
Okay. So you would say that, let me see if I can rephrase this in a way that like I think about it. So data scientists, their main priority is to solve kind of complex business problems. Mm-hmm. A business analyst or data analyst needs to kind of gestate and like turn that insight into recommendations.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because that's how you're going to get value out of this. Certainly depends from business to business. There's some business that research is what matter. Create an algorithm is what's the goal of that analysis. But very often the end goal is improve profitability, be more efficient.
Right.
Save expenses. So that is a business decision that needs to happen, and people trust people more than sometimes they trust the data. So it's the data that is behind the people, right?
That's true. I mean, that's the worst when I'm in a client meeting and all of a sudden we find out the data is corrupted. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, all my recommendations have just gone out the window.
Right.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and it happens very often, right? So that's why to me these two type of professionals complement each other.
Yeah.
Because also you can do a great recommendation and a great story, but if you go to the next layer and the data is not because the data is wrong, but it's because you did something wrong on your analysis over the data, that's also not going to help you. So you need to both have the data consistency and be able to trust the data by itself, but also the assumptions that you're doing on that data to make a recommendation, the business, need to be as strong as the data.
Interesting. So another breakdown or difference between data analyst or data scientist and business, or data scientist and data analyst is data scientist. It's more hard skills. Business analyst. It's more soft skills.
Yeah, and I certainly there's not a line in between them.
Right. Yeah.
I think again it's something new, it's something emerging. So But that's how I see that some people come and they are, if you think as a mix, you have a mix between a business knowledge that you need, that requires to perform a job, and a technical knowledge. So you can be in any place in the spectrum. There are individuals that are very comfortable under the technical side. They just, eventually they want to heads down and crushing numbers all day long, where there's, in the other side, there are people that are very business oriented, and eventually they don't even have a very strong technical background in the data, but they know what to do with that data. So in between them, there's multiple.
It's like a spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Think as a spectrum. So there's, depending on the type of job, is where you'll be on that spectrum. And sometimes it changes even in your day-to-day, as you as the same individual. Yeah, there is a week that you need to do a specific analysis, you know the business problem, you're going to go from it. But eventually in the following week, you need to change in the spectrum, because now you need to sell that idea, or you need to prove that point, or put a story on top of that. So it's a mix, not only in between professionals, but also in your day, or in your week, or in your month.
What kind of hat? Like, okay, I need to put my data analyst hat on. Oh, I need to put my business consultant hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to put my salesman hat on.
Right.
So I think a huge skill that I see a lot of my students who are trying to get into the analytics space, something that they completely miss or they don't even think about, or actually, in fact, they're probably running from, is sales skills or influence. Like, you need to be able to sell your project.
Right.
That is probably the most important soft skill that I see. What are the other soft skills that you would recommend someone learning?
I mean, I think certainly what very link of what you're talking about is storytelling. So be able to tell a story on top of data, or be able to connect the dots, and be able to insert that data as a good component of that story. So to me, as we spoke a little bit, is the ability then is data, you analyze the data to generate insights to influence the business. So again, soft skills, influence to impact the business is all related, but that's the circle, right? You get the data going to impact the business, or in other words, monetizing the data and the analysis that you're providing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's such an interesting and relevant concept of data as a sales tool. Data as a way to data as a way to make money, either using data to cut costs and thus improve profitability, or studying your sales trends to understand this is my target demographic, this is who I need to go after. They want to be targeted, via this channel at this time of day. Here's the message that works. I mean, I've actually got a really interesting consulting engagement I'm working on now that I got news on last Monday that we started with sales analytics. Now they're expanding that to all of their departments. So, for example, I have a meeting tomorrow with their manager or director of their surveys. So what we're going to be doing is studying their surveys to understand. Well, there's two things. There's two main benefits that I think you can get out of taking like a customer survey. The first thing is marketing copy. So they can say 9 out of 10 manufacturers agree that this product really worked for them. Right. And then the other side of that is they can study, okay, well, yeah, we're doing really good with manufacturers, but if you look at, I'm trying to think of another, sales organizations, our product's not doing so hot there. So we need to do some deeper analysis and figure out why that is. So I mean, it's so interesting to think of it.
I certainly relate to that, and to me that is the key topic of this conversation, is how you're moving from a governance perspective. So people that will be leveraging data as a governance, like finance or IT, now they're more going towards a guidance. So you're becoming a little business development, right? Because now the data is available, and there is the data democratization where people have the data that they need at the time that they need. So from that perspective, you don't need more to send the reports. You don't need more a PDF. But now you need is engage that in the business. Whatever is, as you mentioned, customer experience, understand what your customer wants, or departments that you support or other companies that you relate, what are their expectations on you as individual, as department, or as organization. So certainly to me that's the key topic, is how you then use that data in your favor and cover some of the blind spots that you have.